The brand new Comica VM40 is easily the most advanced shotgun microphone on the market, and you are actually currently listening to it. We do get 32-bit float recording, internal recording, and absolutely amazing sound quality on this microphone. And best of all, actually, it's totally wireless as well. First, let's check out what do we actually get when we purchase this microphone. So it actually comes in absolutely massive box for a microphone, and actually it's packed to the brim with top-of-the-line features. And if you want to see all the features, you can probably pause the video over here. Inside the box we do get absolutely massive bag for your microphone and also all the accessories. So it actually has got dual compartment, and the handle also is extremely nice here. For this unboxing part of the video, I will be speaking in the older Comica VM30 microphone, just so you can compare the sound quality between them. First we get Comica branded foam cover for your plosives, and when we actually compare to the previous VM30 cover that comes with that, you can see it's actually substantially larger, and also the quality is actually very improved over the older one. We also get absolutely huge wind cover for this microphone. We also get all the cables needed for this microphone, TRS cable and also TRRS cable, as well as actually kind of long USB cable, which is actually 2-in-1. So you can connect this to your computer or also to your Type-C device, such as maybe a laptop or a phone as well. Also a really nice quality shock mount, so you can actually mount this microphone on your camera or wherever you need it. And also it's actually fully adjustable, and the overall build quality of this stand is actually very impressive. Then also you do get a bunch of other accessories for maybe your microphone stand, or maybe if you need to mount this microphone somewhere. And finally your manual, warranty card, bunch of other stuff including your reset pin. And finally in the other compartment we do get the microphone itself and also receiver for it. By the way, Comica actually sent me this microphone to check it out, since I had the previous older VM30 already. But they haven't really paid me anything or asked to say anything about it. And this is what the microphone itself looks like. When it comes to the build quality, it's actually incredibly impressive. So as you can see, it's all metal everywhere. Only the buttons are plastic, obviously. And also we have this gain adjustment knob here, which again appears to be made from metal. So the build quality actually is top notch on this microphone. When it comes to the outputs, you do get the regular analog output as well as Type-C output. So you can use this with a camera, and also you can output directly to a phone. And currently I'm actually recording again with the VM30 older one, and I'm connected using this USB straight to my phone. This can do the same. And if you want to turn on this microphone, you simply have to press and hold this safety button. And as you see, it also has a screen, so you can actually see your battery level here. You can also enable or disable the safety track, so you can see as I press this safety, it basically changes there. Also, you can actually record internally on this microphone as well. So if you start to record internally, it will show you the time elapsed basically. Obviously you can see if it's connected to your like receiver as well. Also on the screen you can see your current audio levels. So you can see they actually jump pretty much instantly. Then if I hold the recording button for a couple of seconds, it will also start to record internally. So you do not even need to connect this microphone to a camera or a phone or your basically recording device, and you can actually record internally on this microphone. We do get 32 gigabytes of internal storage, which is good for around 40 hours at least from the specs. And again, you can see on the screen your current time of the recording and also the audio levels very easily. So this is actually insanely nice. Then if you click your recording button once, you can actually turn on your low cut filter. If you turn it second time, you can actually turn on your high frequency boost. By the way, from my test, the high frequency boost on this microphone is absolutely great. So when we actually click 3 times, you can actually turn on both if you want to. And click again and turn off all. And let's check out the receiver as well. By the way, this is actually an extremely nice receiver because you can actually connect two of these microphones to this one. So if you get a set with two of these, you can essentially record stereo sound, and yeah, this is actually insanely cool. The unit itself actually is really lightweight, and it does have Type-C charging here as well. And on the outputs we do get this analog output only. Then also we can actually monitor our audio here as well, so you can actually plug in your headphones and monitor in live basically how it sounds. On the bottom of this unit you do get also other options, so you can basically switch between the different channels, modes, and also you can adjust the extra gain on this basically receiver as well. So if I, for example, start to press this button, I can basically increase the gain, so up to extra 18, and also I can decrease it with this over here as well. On the screen of this receiver we can see pretty much everything we need. Also we can even monitor our volume as well at which we are speaking, so insanely cool. Also again, this microphone can record internally as well, so it has got 32 gigs of internal storage. But if you actually want to use the audio after you're done, you first have to actually turn off this microphone, and then basically you have to press both of these buttons at the same time and hold them. So it will take a few seconds, and as you see, turned on this copy mode. Then you simply have to plug this in the USB hole and connect it wherever you need to upload it basically. Okay, let's compare the brand new VM40 against its older brother VM30. So previously, for the past minutes, I was recording on this microphone while I was showing this one. So this is basically what that sounded. And currently I'm recording using the phone's internal microphones. So when it comes to build quality and the size, you can see that the VM40 is actually tiny bit larger. So basically in length a bit larger, maybe like 2 centimeters. When it comes to the build quality, actually I'm super impressed with the build quality on both. Both are built from full metal and both feel actually insanely good. So I can't really give any positives or negatives to either ones, because both are actually top notch and the best quality you can expect to get. On both of the microphones you can output through analog and also USB, so no problems there. And also both has got a screen like this. Only the screen on the VM40 to save battery actually goes off after some time, so you simply have to press the button to turn it on if you want to see your info. I preferred actually the screen on the older one. Again, maybe this saves a bit more battery, but I think this is better as it doesn't really goes off. When it comes to the gain adjusting knobs, they are again absolutely great on both. So on this one I suppose you can actually accidentally maybe change it a bit without you realizing. On this one actually it's more protected from accidental touches and maybe it's a bit better. But again, both are really good. And compared to the older VM30, this new one actually gets an app, so we can actually control both our microphone and also receiver totally remotely. So if your camera is basically very far away from you, so you can basically pull up your phone and do everything here. So you can see even your remaining battery life on both of the units. You can adjust your gain here, as you can see. Okay, also as I speak in this microphone you can see your current levels, volume here. You can turn on your low cut and high frequency boost as well, and even mute your microphone as well. And also you can start internal recording as well on this microphone. And yeah, that's absolutely awesome. Okay. And we can even remotely turn on or off this denoise feature. By the way, denoise feature on this microphone again is a completely new feature. On the older VM30 we did not get that denoise feature, and this actually works super good actually as well. And we can adjust even more settings here. When it comes to the performance, there is actually notable improvement on the VM40. So first, it actually comes with 32-bit float, which is absolutely amazing. And the older VM30 actually only gets 24 bits. And if you want to pause the video, you can see all the specs of the VM40 over here. And here is a spec sheet for the VM30 if you want to pause the video and compare. And also the VM40 actually comes with quite improved foam over here as well. So actually the older VM30, I wasn't really the biggest fan of this foam because I think it was kind of thin actually. But this actually, when we check the overall quality of this foam, it actually feels super premium, and it actually, yeah, it's actually fantastic foam. But still the foam cover on the VM30 does the job perfectly fine as well. Also the VM40 actually comes with really impressive wind guard as well. So this dead cat actually is insanely good. So the size actually, yeah, it's actually quite huge on this. And also when using this in wind, I found it to be actually pretty good. And the regular VM30 doesn't come with wind guard actually. And also the new VM40 actually runs in dual channel as well. So this one can't do that. So yep, you can actually use two of these microphones at the same time if you need to. Then also the VM40 gets internal recording, so you can record internally. On this VM30 you can't do that. We do get a bit different receivers here as well, but the receiver on the VM30 is actually really good as well. But when it comes to the wireless distance, actually the VM40 is again improved. So the VM40 claims to get up to 200 meters of wireless distance, while the VM30 only 100 meters. However, when I tested this 200 meters spec, I wouldn't say it's entirely true. It's maybe true in a totally open area, basically with nothing around you. So, but if you are in urban area, basically some trees and house around you, and maybe you aren't in the best position, I think this is reliable up to around 100 meters. So this is a bit worse, but still you can expect to get 100 meters of very good like coverage. But if you are in open area, you can obviously get a better distance. And yeah, that's what I found basically. And also the VM40 actually gets a denoise feature as well, so you do not get that on the VM30. And the denoise feature actually works incredibly good, especially if you simply switch it to the low. I think on the high it maybe distorts the voice a bit, but it can actually cut out pretty much all background noise, but that's completely normal on all microphones. But if you actually use it on the low mode, yep, it's actually really decent. The sound quality from your voice doesn't really get distorted, but it can still cut out a lot of background junk basically. Also, if you use these microphones over USB, such as to record directly to your phone maybe, then the VM40 actually gets a bit louder. And when using the VM30 over the USB mode, I actually found it sometimes that the volume a bit lagged sometimes. But the volume on this one, when you actually use over USB and connect it to a phone, where you can't really adjust the internal gain of the phone amps basically, this is actually really good, and I can easily run it maybe at like even 6, and still the sound quality will be really good over USB. Again, if you use it with a computer, maybe there won't any difference, but the problem is really with the smartphones, and you can't really adjust the gain on the smartphones extra. So you basically are relying on the quality of the microphone. Also, I find the high frequency boost on the VM40 to be extremely good. So in the past year, I must have tried and used like 10 different high and mid-range microphones, and this really has to be the best high frequency boost I have seen on any microphone. So on this one it was pretty much average as on any other microphone in that price range and maybe up. Still it was okay, but on this one it's actually insanely good. So yeah, I really suggest to use a high frequency boost with this microphone, because if you are maybe talking very closely to it, it can really boost up your voice and it will sound much more pleasant and more vibrant. And yeah, this is actually really good on this microphone. And finally, actually also the battery life on the VM40 also is actually improved greatly. So on the unit itself you can expect to get 10 hours basically. On the VM30 you could get 7 hours. And also when I actually use the microphone and check the remaining time in the app, it's actually accurate, so you can actually get 10 hours from that microphone. But the problem is you only get 8 hours on this receiver. So I really wish they were pretty much same. Maybe that's a bit negative, but oh well. Also, obviously you can simply attach a power bank to this microphone as well, so you can pretty much get unlimited like runtime. from the receiver and also the microphone itself, which is insanely cool. By the way, also if we actually use this microphone with a computer or laptop or like a phone basically, then if you plug it in, it will also charge the microphone itself, so it will pretty much never run out of juice. So in the wired mode, I think it can last for like 50 hours or something like that, so still a very good battery life. But again, if you use it in basically USB mode, it will charge itself as well, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, on both of these microphones you do get internal battery, so you never have to swap out batteries or something like that. Absolutely awesome. And to sum it up shortly, here are basically most of the main advantages of the VM40. By the way, also I forgot to mention that you can actually upgrade the firmware on this microphone and also the receiver. So if this gets any updates and improvements, you can actually update this microphone as well, which is insanely cool. Okay, let's compare the sound quality of both of the microphones over USB. So currently I'm speaking in the Comica VM40 microphone, and this is how it sounds like. A quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog while Peter was pickling his peppers in the backyard. A quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog while Peter was pickling his peppers in the backyard. A quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog while Peter was pickling his peppers in the backyard. A quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog while Peter was pickling his peppers in the backyard. And again, this is what the VM40 sounds like over USB. So on both the microphones I had set the gain to the number 9, and I didn't have any low pass filters or the high frequency boost. So again, this is what the VM40 sounds like over USB without any filters whatsoever. By the way, I'm also not post-processing any of this audio, so this is straight out of the microphone and straight in my phone without any post-processing actually. And this is what the VM40 sounds like with the high frequency boost enabled. So actually I find this high frequency boost on the VM40 absolutely insanely good. So it can pretty much transform your voice, especially if you are maybe using this microphone very like up close to you. So you can use this microphone basically as like a podcast microphone as well if you want to, because the sound quality, especially with this high frequency boost, is actually insanely good on this mic. A quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog while Peter was pickling his peppers in the backyard. A quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog while Peter was pickling his peppers in the backyard. This is without that high frequency boost, so you can see and compare how this function actually sounds like. Personally, I have actually enabled this high frequency boost to be always on, because yeah, the sound quality is actually really nice with it. With the high frequency boost enabled on the VM40 microphone. Also, when it comes to the self noise, the VM40 also is superb. So there's pretty much almost like zero self noise whatsoever with this microphone, which I actually find extremely rare on microphones, even like super expensive ones. Okay, let's test the sound quality of the VM40 further, and in this section I will try to cover all the positives and negatives I have experienced after using this microphone for pretty much a week. So actually I'm currently recording in pretty much untreated room. So in the previous section where you could only see my hands, so I was showing the microphone basically with my hands only, that was actually very treated area, so we can see how this microphone actually sounds like in totally untreated room. And currently I'm actually recording without any of the filters on, so I do not have the low pass or the high frequency boost on. And I have turned on the high frequency boost at the moment, so you can probably hear what the difference is with and without that high frequency boost. The first great thing about this microphone actually is that it actually sounds absolutely great straight out of the microphone without any post-processing needed. So maybe if you are a complete beginner, then really I can suggest you this microphone, because for example, if you get other microphones They often actually do not sound the best unless you actually post-process them and basically improve the sound quality, maybe do some background denoising and stuff like that. Also, other microphones have a lot of self-noise, so basically you need a lot of post-processing on a lot of microphones. But this one, it actually sounds great straight out of the microphone basically. So you can simply plug it in your camera or your phone or wherever, and you'll get absolutely great sound quality from this microphone right away. And of course, if you aren't a beginner and you know what you are actually doing, then of course you can even take this microphone sound quality even further. But yep, absolutely great for beginners actually. And next, let's see the sound quality of this microphone in a wired mode. So previously I was using the wireless mode, and yeah, basically this is what it sounds when you use it with a wire instead. So I actually have a very long analog wire that simply goes back to my camera, and this is what you can expect to get. By the way, I'm not sure if the volume will be the same as on the wireless mode, as again you can actually adjust the gain on that receiver, so I'm not sure how well I have matched it. And currently I'm using the high frequency boost again on this microphone. Okay, I have turned off the high frequency boost, but still we are using the wire. So the next great thing about this microphone actually is that it's easily the best microphone if you actually want to use it with a smartphone or even maybe a computer as well. Because if you actually try to get another shotgun microphone and try to basically plug it in your phone, you will know that basically this stuff isn't very reliable basically. But this VM40 is actually super well engineered, and it's actually super thought out, and it's actually made to run with smartphones perfectly fine. And actually I'm pretty much using 90% of the time a smartphone to record videos. Only now I'm using the camera to shoot this video, but this is easily the best like microphone for a smartphone usage actually. Okay, I turned back on the high frequency boost again. So again, when it comes to smartphones, for example, there actually aren't many like these shotgun microphones that even works with smartphones properly. So there is one from Rode, which is called Rode VideoMic NTG, which is pretty much the same price as that one. And I actually had that microphone in the past, but it was absolutely unreliable. So on the packaging it claims it can work with digital devices and can output through the Type-C perfectly well, but that's not the case really, and that situation basically was all other microphones as well. They simply barely work actually. This one is literally the best you can get if you want to use it with a smartphone basically, or a computer as well. And again, let's compare the sound quality side by side with the older VM30. So again, I'm recording in the VM30 using the wireless mode, and I do not have any of the filters on, and this is what it sounds like. So what I really like about the VM40 actually is it's actually very well shielded, and also it doesn't have any interface noises as well. And also the self noise is actually insanely good as well. So as you could probably hear in the previous test I did. So yep, the self noise is absolutely insanely good on this microphone, and that really can't be said about other microphones, especially in this price. In this price, basically, you can hear a lot of hisses, basically, a lot of like basically shum shum whatever, basically. So they go completely crazy. This microphone is actually again properly engineered, and it doesn't have any such problems really. And again, I have connected the microphone to my camera using the wire. So I usually loop it basically over it so you can't see it, but I'm just saving a bit of time here. Again, it's overhead, so it will be out of my frame. And again, this is what it sounds in the wired mode. By the way, again, I'm fairly sure that this wired mode might be a bit louder, simply because you can again adjust the gain on this unit, and I simply haven't matched them perfectly yet, so to get the same volume. So but simply play around with this unit and see how it sounds to match the volume if you actually want to use both of the modes. And this is what it sounds when I take off my foam and I'm speaking again maybe like 20 centimeters away from it. So I'm not directly speaking it, maybe a bit over it, so probably you can't really hear any plosives coming in this microphone, but let's test them anyway. A quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog while Peter was pickling his peppers in the backyard. So this is how it sounds without the foam. A quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog while Peter was pickling his peppers in the backyard. So again with the foam on. Okay, I have the microphone again out of the frame, so you probably can't see it. So what are some negatives about this microphone? So actually I had some really hard time coming up with negatives about this microphone, but maybe some niggles, that's pretty much it. So first, actually on this receiver, if you actually use it in this microphone in a wireless mode, you can't actually output to basically USB, so you only can output like this analog, like 3.5 jack basically. So I really wish you could actually output from this receiver to a Type-C as well. So it has Type-C port for charging, but you can't really output to the Type-C. So I think that lacks kind of. So yeah, if you actually want to use it with a phone or basically a computer, you'll need to get another adapter which converts 3.5 to Type-C. So again, I wish they included that, or maybe made this like device able to output on the USB as well. That's, I think, is my main like gripe with this microphone. Then also the screen on this microphone. On the VM30, the screen actually pretty much stays on all the time, so it doesn't really go to sleep. But on the VM40, actually the screen after some time, after some minutes even, basically it goes to sleep, so you can't really see your battery level, your sound levels, and if it's connected, so you have to press your button basically. So if the microphone is mounted there, to check whatever I want to see on the microphone, I basically have to press the button on it, so I can't really see it, unlike on this one. Maybe they could improve this with a firmware update. Maybe you can set it somewhere, I'm not sure, but at least I couldn't find it how to disable this function that the screen goes off basically after a few minutes. So I'm fairly sure it saves a bit more battery and you get more battery life, but I really preferred that if you can actually enable the screen to stay on all the time on this unit. And finally, maybe the like wireless mode range. I do not think it's those 200 meters actually. So again, usable range, I would say in like a realistic area is around 100 meters. So when I actually used this microphone and went past 100 meters, or maybe I had a lot of obstructions in my way basically, or very nearby, I sometimes heard a bit of crackle basically, like it's sometimes drops like 1 millisecond from the audio, so that's maybe another negative. But if you keep it up to like 50 meters up to 100 meters basically, then the audio, yeah, it's fine, there isn't really much problems. But again, you need a very clear line of sight for this to work the best obviously. So the 200 meters range rating, I think it's kind of stretched on this microphone, but apart from that, still the wireless mode actually works really decently on this mic. Okay, let's test out this microphone outdoors and see how it sounds. And actually today is a great day for this test because I have a bit of wind and also there are a lot of background noises from birds chirping, cars going around and random stuff basically. So I live in pretty much center of city. So this is what it sounds, only with the high frequency boost on at the moment. And actually I'm super impressed with the app on this microphone as well. So we can actually pretty much change all the settings remotely wherever you are basically. So you do not have to go to your camera to change anything basically. So for example, on this receiver, as you can see, you can adjust your gain here. You can turn on the denoise feature. You can basically see your battery life, and basically also on the transmitter you can also adjust various settings. Also this dead cat actually is insanely good on this microphone. So you can see the size is absolutely massive. I do not think he actually likes this dead cat. But yeah, absolutely great stuff. And currently there is quite a bit of wind actually blowing, so I will keep shut. So this is what it basically sounds, with some wind blowing at it and a lot of background noise. So let's turn on the low cut filter. Again, I can easily do this from the app as well on the phone. You can also do that on the microphone itself, but this is what it sounds with the low cut on. So I'm not sure if it makes much difference, but we'll see later. Okay, next let's test out the denoise feature and see what it can do. So I will turn it to the low at the moment and see if it can actually help in the getting rid of the background noise. And this is what my voice sounds with this denoise feature on the low mode. I do hope it actually sounds the same, but only without any background noise. I'm pretty much sure that you will be able to hear some cars passing by, but I think it should get rid of any like wind noise. So let's see. Maybe let's turn it on the high at the moment. Okay. So I do have the denoise feature on the high at the moment, and this is what it sounds like. Yep. And just let's talk a bit with this denoise feature on the high and see how my voice actually sounds like. By the way, again, this app on this microphone is absolutely insane. Also from my early test, actually the battery life on the microphone and the also receiver I have on my camera also has been very decent. Okay, let's turn off the denoise feature and let's test the range of this microphone. And in the wireless mode, this microphone actually promises to get 200 meters of range. So I will simply try to walk as far as I can and see if it cuts out at any moment. So, by the way, this 200-meter range is without any obstructions whatsoever. And also you need to be in a very clear line of sight, basically, when you actually use this microphone. So, I hope I don't trip anywhere. So, and yeah, basically, I'm maybe around 50 meters away from the microphone at the moment. So, I can't really go any further. And this is what it sounds like, basically. And while I was walking, I didn't have any of the filters on, so the low pass filter was off and also the high frequency boost was off. So let's turn both of them on, and this is again what it sounds like with the high frequency boost on. And overall, the Comica VM40 is an absolutely amazing microphone, and at the price they are charging for it right now, I do not think there's anything else in the market currently that even comes close to it as a total package. We do get absolutely great sound quality and top of the line features, and of course it's totally wireless as well, so it's extremely hard to beat actually. I do not think anyone in next couple of years will be able to beat this microphone, but still, should you purchase the older VM30 if it's actually cheap? Well, yep, I would still purchase it if you can get it for a cheap price. Maybe you can get it in a second-hand market for like $100 or a bit less. I think, yeah, it's still a really good microphone, but I really suggest you to simply spend a bit more and get this VM40, because this is actually insane upgrade. So usually when they release some tech or microphones, the upgrades are very slim and barely noticeable, but between these, the upgrade is absolutely insanely crazy. So yeah, definitely get the VM40 if you can pay a bit more for it. Anyway, good luck everyone.